Welcome to day 103 of our school year. 77 school days left. All right. Let's go ahead and get down our beginning fraction. We're on day 73. I'm sorry, 103. Let's think if our numerator is prime or composite. Well, it doesn't end in an even number, so 2 is not a factor. 1 plus 0 plus 3 is 4. 4 is not a multiple of 3, so 3 is not a factor. So I'm going to check and see if it may be prime. Look on our prime number sieve. It is circled, so yes, it is prime. And if it is prime, then our prime factorization is done for our numerator, because the only prime number I can divide by is 103. So we just need to do our prime factorization for our denominator. And just a reminder of our first 5 prime, 2, 3, 5, 7, 11. Let's start with 3, because 1 plus 8 plus 0 is 9. That is a multiple of 3, so I know 3 is a factor. I can get 63s out of 180. Still divide by 3. I can get 23s out of 60. I can divide by 2. I can get 10 2s out of 20. 5 2s out of 10. 5 is prime, so we are done. Let's go ahead and write down our prime factorization from least to greatest. 2 times 2 times 3 times 3 times 5, and then 103. Now be careful. We do have the digit 3 in common, but we want to see the factors, which is the full number. There's no just 2s, 3s, or 5s up here, and there's no 103. So there's no common factor. What we have there. So when we have that, our greatest common factor is 1. Let's go ahead and make our groups of 1. Done. How many total groups of 1 do we have? We have 180. How many are shaded in? 103. Okay, now let's prove it with our algorithm, dividing by our greatest common factor of 1. So 180 divided into groups of 1. 103 divided into groups of 1. So 100 times 1 is 100. Numbers the same, zeros a game, or on top, no need to stop. Numbers the same, zeros a game. Bring my 80 up here. 80 times 1 is 80. Numbers the same, zeros a game. 100 plus 80 is 180. Here, 100 times 1 is 100. Or on top, no need to stop. Numbers the same, zeros a game. Numbers the same, zeros a game. Bring my 3 up here. 3 times 1 is 3. Numbers the same, zeros a game. Add our partial quotients together, we get 103. Now we need to check using our inverse operation. Divisor times quotient plus remainder. Divisor times quotient plus remainder. Now, since our remainder is 0 for both, and the identity property of addition says when you add 0 it stays the same, we don't have to take time to add the 0. But what we end up with here is our identity property of multiplication that says when you multiply by 1, it stays the same. One group of 0 is 0. One group of 8 tens is 8 tens. One group of 100 is 100. One group of 3 is 3. One group of 0 is 0. One group of 100 is 100. 103, that matches our dividend here, so that checks. 180, that matches our dividend, so that checks. Our numerator is definitely 103, and our denominator is definitely 180. All right, let's go ahead and fill in our data collection page. All right, we are in trimester 2 still, week 10. Our date today is 2/3/2020. And our fraction for today is 103 out of 180. 103 is a prime number. It is not a factor of 180. So our greatest common factor is 1, meaning we did groups of 1. Groups of 1 are already on here, so you don't have to get your number line out, but I like to show you it's right here. 103 out of 180, and there are no lines below it because that is our simplest form or our equivalent fraction in lowest terms. Let's go ahead and erase your worksheet, and thank you for joining me.